Now, before I start with the table of contents, I want to show you some things. Here is my book. It's minimalist style. That's my style. But the important thing about it is, I just want to show you inside my paragraph styles. I have, let me take this out because I don't need it. I have that on my front cover, and then here, so every single one of these is styled as a typographic term. All right, and there are no overrides. I've set this up two different ways. The other way I've done this is on every page I have a little marker saying what's on the page. So this is the C page, this is the D page, this is the E page, this is the F page. And this is the important part. That marker is styled using a paragraph style. Now, if this doesn't fit with your design, we'll talk about that in a minute. If you say, I don't want fugly markers on my pages, Chris, hang on a second. There's a way to do this without them, but let me just show you. So there are two ways to do this. I could do a table of contents that literally lists every term in the book and the page that it appears on, or I could do a table of contents that says the A to B information is on page 3, the C information is on page 4, the D information is on page 5. I can do it either way. So let's take a look. What I have over here now is where I want the actual table of contents to be. And this is what I want the table of contents to look like. This type size and this font weight. There's more to it than that, but I'll get there when I get there. And again, I have created a paragraph style, TOC. It's going to make things a little simpler. So before I start, I'm going to take this text box and move it over here. Stick with me. There's a method to the madness. And then I'm going to go up to layout, and I'm going to say table of contents. And this is the table of contents box. I'll just start at the beginning. So it's asking me, what style sheet do you want me to pick up for table of contents? Now I have a choice. I could do this by the page header, or I could do this by the typographic term. Remember, the typographic term is literally every term. I want to do mine the first time by page header. Page header, add. And then it says, okay, what style do you want that table of contents that I generate to be in? I'm going to go find my table of contents style, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, the table of contents has been loaded into my cursor. I think you can see it as I move it around. So I am going to draw a box, and there it is. So I'm going to take this out because I already have my header. This is the table of contents. You can see it's gone through the document, and everywhere one of these headers has appeared, it said, oh, the C is on page 4, the D is on page 5. So I'm going to come in here and grab them all, and I'm going to add a custom tab. Now, we haven't talked about tabs, but I'll show you in 1 second. A tab is Command T, Shift Command T, so there. Okay, this is the tab menu. So my box, my text box that I made goes from here to here, and you can see it up here. See how the ruler kind of goes the width of the text box? Make it easy on yourself and put the left-hand side lined up with the left-hand side of your box. I want a right-hand tab, so I'm going to click on the right-hand tab, and you see that there's already a tab in the type. That's what this little funky forward-spacing arrow means. That's a tab. So I want my tab, grab them all. I want my tab here. I'll grab the little arrow and I'll push it. There we go. Now that's fine, but now I want the little dot that goes from the entry to the number. We call that the leader. So if I grab all of this and I put a period in the leader box and hit return, there it is. And so there is my table of contents done with these headers. And you say, well, Chris, that's fine for you, but these headers are really fugly. I don't want these headers on the page. Well, that's fine. I used a style sheet, right? A paragraph style sheet. So all I have to do is come in and turn them white, and only you and I have to know that those headers are on the pages, right? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Now, let's say that you didn't want your table of contents that way. Let's say, because I've seen some of you do this, that you want every single term. There's not that many of them. So let's do it another way. Let's go in, and I'll go into table of contents. I'll take this one out, and I'll say typographic term. Typographic term is the style sheet that I used for every single header in the document. And I hit add, and I'm going to say again, I want it in the TOC style. I'm going to hit OK. Now I know I have a lot more of these, so I'm going to make a much bigger text box. There they are. And then I'm going to go in. Let's see, I'm probably going to need more than that. I'm also probably going to need to make this the TOC style a little bit smaller. So let's see. Let's see how 13 point fits. Yeah, that works. All right, and then again, I'm going to come in here. I'll go to my tabs. You can see here's the column width. It says this is how much space you have to negotiate in. I said, all right, I still want a right-hand tab. I'll pull it out kind of as far as I can. I'll give it a leader. Again, I'll give it a period and hit the return key. And there's my other table of contents. Now, as you can see, if I turn these off, for typeface weights, the words typeface weight are wide as the column, and so I don't have any room. So I need to put a soft return in here. I'll do it for typeface width. I'm just hitting shift return to force the return so that these will break. And then I can do this. Now, if you decide that you don't want to put in a table of contents, because we ran out of time and I didn't do this lecture in class, I'm not going to take points off for that. That's fine. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But I wanted to show you how to do it. So there's 2 different ways to do it. But the important part is that you have some kind of marker on the page that the table of contents can draw from. I'm going to make these line up. So that there is some reference point that the InDesign can use to create your table of contents. Okay? All right. I'm around this weekend if you have questions.